Yes, people, welcome to AFC Elite, and it is the first show, which is the Is Yours Gold podcast, and it is the first one on the channel. I think it's been a long time coming where we needed to add a face to the brand, I guess you could call it. But we have also, for a long time, it's been me running the show behind the scenes. But finally, we've got another good member to the side. Aaron, welcome to the party, my friend. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to kick off this podcast. Let it begin. Let's go.
So I love to hear. So yeah, just as an overall plan, I feel like we are going to do this on try to keep it a weekly basis where
Yeah.
me and Aaron, we are both passionate is probably an understatement regarding Arsenal. Like I've supported them since as I don't know, young, 10, 9, 8 years old. I got my first kit over there. It's the 2013 kit. So it's been quite a while. And yeah, suffered all the pains, Mustafi, Socrates, I don't even know, Giroud against Monaco. I mean, there's too many to name. But hopefully doing this, we're now going to put a spark. And Arsenal this year, come May, we're going to win the league. I think that's about right. But yeah, overall, that's me as a fan. Aaron, you want to add anything?
Yeah, so I'd say I've been supporting Arsenal since 6 or 7. You know, it was actually tough for me because initially I was torn. You know, I have a family of Man United supporters. My dad's a Liverpool fan, but I have cousins on my dad's side that are Arsenal fans, and that's how I sort of got into it. Because when I was younger, before I started supporting the club, I was just watching football in general. I didn't really have a team or anything like that. But I was like, you know what, one day, let's stick to a team. I like the sound of Arsenal. The style of football was very attractive. I thought, let's do it, man. And here we are today on this podcast.
Was it a good decision? I mean, if you're a Liverpool, bloody hell, you'd have seen 2 league titles, Champions League, a couple of cups here and there.
I know, but the thing is, you know what? Sometimes the drama is worth it. Arsenal fans, listen, the engagement is off the charts.
That's true.
Our club is like no other, so
I feel like our fan base is. You either love them or hate them, but personally, I love being an Arsenal fan. Like it's 100%. very diverse, good set of people, and every time I talk to someone in London, it's always Arsenal, man. The minute I see a Chelsea fan, I just know something wrong with them. But anyway, so yeah, as a whole, I think that's pretty much a debrief of us. Like I say, we're going to try to do this to a weekly basis, and it's just an outlet for us to really discuss what we want to, how we see Arsenal on a week to week. It's something to vent, and I feel like with how passionate we are, me and Aaron also, we know each other for a long time. Around, I don't actually know how. What are we? With 20, so I'd say 9 years.
Yeah, 8 years.
So it was quite a long time. But yeah, so if you do go on to enjoy the podcast, the first episode, please, people, show some support. Drop a like and let us know in the comment section. Yeah, how you're feeling for the season. I mean, personally, my expectations are quite a lot, but we'll go into that later. Hit the subscribe button, and obviously, whether you come from TikTok, Instagram, or you found us here on YouTube, maybe even Twitter or X as they now call it, you know where we are, AFC Elite on all platforms. But I think we should jump straight into it, and it's probably not the best place to start begin the podcast. However, it's the reality. Lost to Liverpool 1-0 at Anfield. I mean, personally, it was not a great result. I think a good place to start is the lineup. If I'm being honest, like when you saw that lineup, be honest, how were you feeling?
So I'll give a bit of a context, a bit of backstory. It's crazy because I was rushing. The whole day was a bit crazy. From the morning, basically, I bought a bike, had to go to the market. I wasn't even on my phone. The game kicks off it was a 4:30 kickoff, right? I get to the pub literally just maybe like 4:29. I see the lineup flash onto the screen, and I see 3 defensive midfielders in the starting lineup. Now, for me, that I can't find an excuse for that. I really wasn't happy with that. What did you feel, man?
I think I agree. When I work on Sundays, but I work at a bar, so like but just to give more context. So obviously, as I'm serving customers, I hear in the background that the lineups are out. I'm like, oh yeah, it's that time already. I check my phone. I'm expecting, like I think most people, I think the debate was always, is he going to start Eze, or is he going to go for Nwaneri, or is Odegaard going to be fit? It was all them kind of things. I don't think anyone really considered the fact that he'd start Marino with what was it, Rice and Zubimendi. I just it didn't even enter my brain. That's why I was just shocked. I looked at it. I thought, what is he doing? Even someone as like Miles Lewis-Skelly hasn't started all season at left back. I thought that might be because he's moving to midfield. Like I think there was so many other options out there. I know probably throwing him in the deep end at Liverpool might have been the best idea, but and people will say that with Eze, it's not a good debut. But even then, why then throw him on with like what was it, 10 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go? Give him a good run out, half an hour minimum to actually go and show what he's about. It's his first game in an Arsenal shirt, boyhood fan. He's gonna and you saw them immediately how much better he was than Gabriel Martinelli, in my opinion. And well, bloody hell, we'll get onto that. But yeah, seeing that lineup, I wasn't thrilled. I can say that for a fact. But I think it is. Are we surprised? Like we've come to expect Arteta now to be less. I don't know. Positive is that the right way to put it? I don't know if you.
Yeah. They sort of call it. I don't know if it's the right word. They call it the pragmatic approach, innit? Like just
yeah.
It's a realistic approach, but sometimes you've just got to be bold. Sometimes you've got to be brave. What I really respect about Liverpool and Man City and their sort of rivalry was the fact that they went toe to toe. We've seen the amount of games they've drawn, the 2-2s. We've seen it. Do you understand? Foden on the score sheet, Sadio Mane, Salah. We've seen it. And if you go toe to toe, you never know what can happen. What do we have to lose? What away? We don't have anything to lose. We lose the game, fair enough. This is the third game of the season, guys. Can we not forget this? So I was really confused by that lineup, and it's funny because if you don't know, guys, basically we go gym together, and Harry, you asked me how I was feeling about the game, and I was confident. I was really happy, going into the game, and I thought I thought that you asked me about the starting lineup. I said I want Eze to start in the midfield with Martinelli on the left for his defensive contributions. I have no problem with Martinelli starting, but like you said, we'll get into that. But the fact that he had 3 attacking midfielders on the bench, Eze, Odegaard, okay, he wasn't fully fit, and Ethan, and none of them started. What can I say?
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, it's just him. Yeah, like I say, not being confident enough, not being brave enough, and ultimately, I think it will be his downfall if he doesn't learn to, change. His stubbornness is really going to be a death of him. And a lot of people like to touch on, and I think it is a good point, that the moment he really did change his philosophy was, I think the game I'm going to say anyway, the Man City 4, Arsenal 1 in that title decider, or what ended to be the title decider. And I think since that game, he hasn't really looked back. He's gone for the more, defensive-sided approach and less bold in such decisions. And I can get that for the first couple of seasons. Like it almost worked that 23-24 season. That draw, as much as people say we needed to win there, I don't think we needed to. I think it was alright to get a point. And I was happy. I was like, you know what, it's good enough. And ultimately the games where we didn't win the league were the Villas at home and away. We lost, I think, both times that season to them. Newcastle, we lost at home to them. Fulham, we drew both home and away. We lost away, I think. But I think that was the point. Like there, he established himself as we can go to these big grounds now and not lose. I mean, you saw how many days we went without losing to a big 6 side. But when you actually focus on, okay, well then when did you win at those big 6 sides? We still have yet to win at Anfield since 2011. I mean, Man City 2015. The only one who's really changed was Man United. Like now we actually start winning at Old Trafford. Won there, I think, twice now. Drew a couple of times since he's been there.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's good enough, and it won't win you a league. I can tell you. I don't think that for a fact.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what he's done with our top 6 record is nothing short of remarkable. I really respect what he's done for our club, because at the end of the day, we've seen it. The 6-0s, the sending off Kieran Gibbs, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, the Mourinho sort of Wenger sort of arguments, and just that whole shenanigans and all that. Yeah, we went through a rough period, but now against the big 6, we can be confident. There's nothing to fear. But my issue is that I know we can win against the big 6. How about we win against our title rivals?
Yeah.
Like you said, when's the last time we've gone to City and won? When's the last time we've gone to Anfield and won? And the thing is, okay, you don't need to win there, but It really does help. I mean, look, we were 2 points off a league. Turn that draw into a win, and we win on goal difference.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, is what is, isn't it? What can we say?
I think those small margins, he always talks about the margins of football. That's one of his things he loves, and I feel like you need to then acknowledge that winning at away and putting them away is a massive margin. And I know people would say that we had two of our best players out in Odegaard and Saka, and then Saliba goes down in what, 2 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I can understand that point of view. That a point was okay, and he definitely was playing for the draw. No one could tell me otherwise. But you've then at least got to get that point, get out of there. But I don't know. I just felt like going into this, I've never been really so confident going to Anfield. I think the only time I was confident was the first season we started challenging, because we were just on fire that year. And that, when we drew 2-2, when we were 2-0 up, that was the time we started slipping. Yeah. But ever since then, I've always gone there fearing, because they are a respectful side, and yeah, they're the champions. Let's not forget that. But yeah, and one thing I also want to touch on is the first half compared to the second half. Do you think we dominated in the first half?
I think the first and second half was night and day. I think because obviously I'm watching the game with my dad, and he's a Liverpool fan, and what I like about us is that when we watch the game, we can reason, especially when it's between Arsenal and Liverpool.
Yeah.
And he openly, he'd admit Arsenal got the better of Liverpool in the first half. I believe the way how we started the game, I thought it was a good approach, considering Saliba was out, Saka's out, Odegaard's out. We finished that first half quite strong, in my opinion. But then the second half was just, I can't even explain it. I can't even find the words for it. We lacked creativity. I felt like we had a blunt knife. I just felt like it was just sideways, and there was no one that was, just going to take the initiative and actually bring the ball forward, get the ball to the forwards. It seemed like it was just a over the top to Madueke, and that was our only outlet.
Yeah, I remember that. They kept trying to play that to Madueke every time. And to be fair, he got some joy, but I don't think we ever looked like scoring from that. And I think that was the main issue. And he won a few corners, don't get me wrong. But even then, just on the corners, do you not realise how we took in swingers? Like, we haven't took an in swinger. I think I saw the stat on Sky. It was about our last 250 odd corners, all out swingers. Today, that game, 4 of them in swingers. Like, do you not trust? Madueke is on that pitch. He's left footed. You just signed him for what, 60, 50 million? Do you not believe in him to take a corner and try to replicate it? Like, I don't know why change. Like, it's something that you were heavily relying on. So I don't know. Even Marino, only left footed, but
I think it was shocking. I believe that the stat was that in the last season, so the previous season, not this one, the one before that, we had around 200 odd corners. I can't remember the actual numbers, but 4 of them were out swingers, and the rest were in swingers. So out of 200 and let's say 251, I think it was. Imagine 4 being out swingers, but then that whole game we took out swingers. And it didn't make no sense. At the end of the day, we're scoring from our in-swinging corners.
Yeah.
That is what we do. We put the ball on top of the keeper's head, and it makes it difficult. And the fact that we didn't even do that, we didn't even try and put the ball going towards goal, which is something that we thrive in, it just baffled me. It seems like everything in that game, I haven't seen us play like that before. It was very confusing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I just think as a whole for the second half, like, I can see that the first half, it was going well. We dominated. We silenced the crowd. The Anfield crowd were genuinely quiet for that first half because they had nothing to cheer for. We had that ball. We were controlling the game on our tempo. They had no chances really, apart from might have been when Ray were trying to play out, or was that the second half? No, it was the first half. And he gave it, and then I think Ekitike or someone jumped on it. Salah jumped on it, or Van Dijk. I think Van Dijk, he could have shot, but he ended up passing it, and we got lucky in the end. But apart from that, we were literally had the whole game to us. But come second half, I think Slot did what Arteta didn't have the balls to do which was change the system. I think I watched a video or like a TikTok or a short on by the Athletic, so saying that like that he kind of just changed the way that I think they build up in press or something. Like normally they have it's their flat floor, and I think they have really tight. The gap between the defense and midfield is so close, meaning that they can't get pressed on easily. But here he immediately changed how I think it was the left back played or someone like that, the centre back played or the midfield plays, and I cannot see a situation where at half time Arteta says himself, "Okay, we are going to change how we are, like a fundamental part of how we are playing. We're going to change it in an attempt to go and win this game." Because I think that's what Slot was thinking. He was thinking, "I'm not having this. We're going in there to get the 3 points," and ultimately, it didn't change much, but they looked a lot better. They did look a lot better, and they got their reward for, or you need a little bit of luck in title winning sides, and that's what they got because they had the bravery to try something. And yeah, you saw what happened. That free kick, one of the best free kicks I've seen in a long time, and yeah, they got the 3 points because of it.
But this is the issue I have with the manager. Whilst I think that he's man, what's it called? Basically, the way how he communicates with players, I think he gets on with them very well. They respect him. He's a leader. He's obviously the manager. He's actually more than the manager. He's got that super special role in it where he sort of oversees the youth as well. He's not just the head coach,
Yeah.
But my issue is that the fact that you see us go into half time, we have the upper hand. It's clear as day. Now let's actually get a goal. Let's be brave. Let's do something because Liverpool had nothing to offer. Ekitike had nothing to offer. So why not? Okay, we silence the crowd. Why not? Let's push it a bit more. Take off someone like Marino. Put in Eze. Do you understand? Or put in Odegaard and Eze. Put in Wanyeri. I don't know. Do something. And the way we approach the game, I saw him. His post-match. What's it called? Post-match interview. He's talking about that we did have enough creative players on the pitch because he's counting the 3 attacking options being Martinelli, gyokeres, and Madueke, and then 2 attacking fullbacks. But when did the fullbacks ever attack? Serious question. When? I didn't see Calafiori in the penalty box. I don't remember that at all. I didn't see Timber get up the pitch at all. I generally don't remember that.
No, I'd agree. I mean, that is just, yeah, that adds to the list. And I think Timber had quite a terrible game. Calafiori, I think, was the opposite. I think Calafiori was really good. He shut up Salah quite well.
Yeah.
But Timber on the other hand, yeah. Even like, in extra time, he was winding me up when he was like sitting there. I think he had a cramp or something. I don't know what he was doing. Was he time wasting? It was really pissing me off. And as a result of that, I think it knocked down another 2 minutes. And the ref didn't add on anything. Which he probably should have in that time. But yeah, regardless, it's just another example, like I say, of just him not wanting to be brave. And those fine margins, when you need a moment of magic, the man came up. Sloboslai, a crazy free kick. I mean, what's your opinion? Do you think he could have saved it? Like, honestly.
No, there's no chance he's saving that. I mean, I've seen the replay so many times. I'm sitting there, I'm watching the game. The David Raya's positioning is perfect. I mean, you've even got ex-Premier League winner Joe Hart. Check out his analysis on the free kick. You'll see it yourself if you haven't. The positioning's perfect. Our wall is perfect. It's just that the free kick is bang on. Off the post and in. When something goes off the post and in or nearabouts that area, you can see Raya got up. He shuffled his feet to his right. He got up. His hand was across. He was there. But what can you do? This is just, it's one of the best free kicks I've seen, to be honest.
And it is early on. I mean, it's not. It definitely isn't over. But could it decide something later on in the season potentially? Like, will we look back on this? Maybe, because at the end of the day, if you want to win a league, the best chance you can do is do the damage yourself. Don't rely on other people to take points from your rivals for you, which is something we have done so many times. I mean, against City, we should have learned our lesson, really and truly. We were waiting for them to drop points. I mean, with the run they've been on this year and last year, all we needed was one of them losses, one of them draws in our seasons, and we would have won it. But regardless, it just goes to show we really have just got to, in them battles, they're so key. And if you don't have the confidence and the bravery to go out there and put a statement out and show that you are serious this year, in a season where Arteta will be under a lot of scrutiny because he's been back to the window, he's been supported by people, he's been given a lot of time now to be his sixth season, will it?
Yeah, 6.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'd hope it's a lesson. But will it come back to bite him? Maybe, but it just, yeah, man. I don't know. I mean, specifically on players, the only positives I can take is Mosquera. Well, Mosquera, I think, was
Yeah.
single-handedly one of the best players, if not the best player on the pitch. I mean, he made me real. It made me forget Saliba got injured, and I think that's probably the biggest compliment I can give to him on, which was essentially his Premier League debut. I think he might have come on against Leeds or something like that, but I mean,
Yeah,
at Anfield, thrown in 2 minutes in, it's a crazy job.
I think Mascara, is the respect for him, especially from me, has gone up. At the end of the day, I'm not really one. I don't really watch that much football outside the Premier League, Champions League, and all the European competitions and the Premier League. I won't specifically watch a Serie A or La Liga unless it's big games. So I didn't really know about this Mascara. I'd be lying if I said I did, and I'm not one to lie about things like that. But for me, when I watched him in pre-season, I just thought he looked so comfortable on the ball, and he just translated into that game. He's not fast. Okay, his first touch that he had at Anfield, it was a bit mad. I can't lie. It sprung off his foot like a trampoline. But since then, he rectified it. Like, I don't think he put a foot wrong. I mean, even if you look at that block he did in the second half, I think it was him and Saliba, like a double block. I mean, to shuffle your feet across and get a blocking like that, I mean, I have to respect it. But I also heard something on Twitter that Saliba, he was actually injured in the warm-up. Now, the way how I'm looking at it is that it's a bit of a tough one. If the player says he's fine to continue, I guess you got to take his word for it. But if I'm the manager, I'm thinking, well, this is what the board have backed me for. I've signed Mascara. We've got Hincapié. Obviously, he wasn't there when we was at Anfield. But what I'm trying to say is the defensive depth is more than enough. So if a player's injured or he felt a slight tweak, why risk it? You see how early he pulled up? That's what we mean about bravery. Just if this is Pep, he's not going to force it. If someone can't play the game, then that they ain't playing. You just got to send out your next best. And it's not Rob Holding. No disrespect to him. Do you understand? So Madueke, yes, another player I want to shout out. Now, going into this game, I didn't really know what to expect from Madueke because the previous games he's been playing on the left, and we saw a bit of him on the right against Leeds. Couple minutes looked a bit promising. What I like about him is that he's direct. Like Martinelli, he is direct, but he actually gets past players and he actually has his head up for once. But you know what? I was impressed with what I seen. Now, some people they'll come on this platform and say I'm talking nonsense and all that, but I thought it was brave. I thought he really went at Kirkers and they had a good battle. Overall, Kirkers got the better of him because obviously they didn't concede anything. But I mean, the long balls over the top, he was beating them to the sprint. He was first to the ball every time. It was literally last ditch tackles that saved Kirkers. I mean, they were brilliant, but the point is that he was challenging his fullback and he was trying to create openings, and he was the only outlet we had. I cannot say that for Gyokeres, didn't get the ball. Cannot say that for Martinelli. So yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that, and I think it does speak more to Martinelli's performance when you consider the fact that he was against Szoboszlai, who is an out of position right back. And realistically, I would be targeting that side. And remember, Konate, yes, he had a good game today, but was he just made to look good? Like he's been awful against Semenyo. He was awful against Gordon before he got sent off, that is. But I just feel like that it's not that Konate had a good game against Arsenal. It was that he was finally matched with a winger he could deal with. And that was because it was Martinelli and not at the levels of an Antoine Semenyo. But ultimately, yeah, I am kind of running my page. My patience is running really thin with Martinelli. As much as I have loved him over the years, I've really tried to stick with him. He's came to us really really young and grew. I think as a player. At one point, I thought he would. There was a time I'd say he was our best finisher at the club because he had
Yeah,
that crazy performance in the 22-23 season, and ever since then he has never ever been the same. It was that time where Arteta has shifted to this more pragmatic approach, like you say. But then I kind of pinpoint: is it the fact that he has been coached in this way that has made him regress, or like is that just kind of scapegoating? Because simply, I don't care who is telling you what. If you don't have your head up when you're running and you're not looking around and seeing what's going on around you, I I don't know what to. I can't then. You're not giving me any help here. I can't then put it on Arteta and say it's how you're being coached because that is simple, just fundamentals. And I think any real like amazing attacker, world class attacker, for example, Saka, if he wants to go cross that ball and if he wants to have a long range shot, if he wants to just twat it sometimes, he will do it unforgivingly and that. And I think that's the difference in Martinelli. He just doesn't have that capabilities, and maybe it is just like talent or. But I just think his mindset is completely wrong, just going forward in the attacking phase. And I don't care how much he defends. Yes, he's helped us within the years, but this is a time where we want to be taking on teams again and showing our attacking guns once again because I've had enough of us. Yes, we're the best defense in the league. Defenses win you titles, but clearly they don't because we've had the best defense in the league for 2 years now and it hasn't won us anything. So we've really got to look at the wide scale of things and pinpoint these players who are letting us down. And if Martinelli continues like this, I mean, if I'm Madueke, I know on the left he wasn't that great, but even like Trossard or Eze, he was great on the left. You could see him the minute he came on, he was taking on players. Did a lovely skill against, I think it was Sloboslai,
yep.
and he had a good chance to score. Probably, maybe should have, but it was difficult anyway. And I'll be licking my lips, thinking this guy is there for the taking. I'm taking his number one. Well, not his number one, but his first team spot. And I think players will start to realize that, and they will slowly capitalize on it.
Honestly, if his attacking contributions was as good as his defensive contributions, he'd be one of the best wingers in the world. But it's a shame that he's so sort of lopsided in his style of play. I mean, you look at the best wingers in the world, the one thing they have in common is that they're a constant threat, whether it's Rafinha, Lamine, Yamal, whether it's even Barcola, PSG, Dembele, Kvaratskhelia. The one thing, they all have a constant threat. They all get their head up. They're all looking at the next option and making a decision within 5 seconds. I can pinpoint the exact moment where I got so frustrated with him. He has the ball. He's running towards goal. Gyokeres is having a sort of run off with Konate. They're shoulder to shoulder, and Gyokeres is trying to make movement for Martinelli to pass to him so he can score. Just a simple through ball. I don't care what you have to do. Just try and find the player. Instead, he ends up holding onto the ball for so long that the opportunity is gone. See, that's the small margins, and we had that last year at Anfield as well. When we nearly missed the title by 2 points, we had another chance like that at Anfield, and I'm
Mhm.
sick of these chances going to waste, even against Man United. The amount of times we were on the counter attack and we just couldn't find the final ball
Yeah.
or the final shot. It was off, or just the whole attacking setup. It needs to be fixed
Mm.
immediately, because if we can get our attack as good as our defense, we can win everywhere. I mean, even our defense gives us the platform to go anywhere in Europe and keep a clean sheet. So why can't our attack give us the confidence that we can go to any stadium and score? I don't get it. Liverpool, before this game, they've conceded in both their opening games. Why is it now that they haven't conceded a goal? And it's not to say those other two teams are better than us. There's no way. If he
Mm.
need Martinelli needs to up the production levels. Otherwise, he's gonna find that his place is gonna be gone soon. Do you understand? Because there's arguments that Trossard should be starting over him. Eze, like you said, you saw what he did. He came on. He could have scored. It just didn't really happen. But I don't know, man. The chopping board is right there.
Yeah, he is being left behind, I feel. And also on that, the two previous teams coming to Liverpool and not beating them, but scoring both times. Both times was 2 goals, like 2 goals against Bournemouth, 2 goals against Newcastle. And the one that's even worse is that Newcastle, well, I think they're both as bad as each other because both were not only 2-0 down, so they had the fight to go and get something back. And both times they brought them back level. But I think the Newcastle one's even worse in comparison to us because they had 10 men and
Yeah.
they were missing their key man Alexander Isak and Gordon. I think they're the two best, definitely attackers, maybe even players, missing, and they were still managed to get something out of that. So I'm not having the fact that we are not good. Like, it's just that I feel any team in the world can score against anyone, I think. But when it's Arsenal, I genuinely look at us sometimes and I think we just don't have the bravery. We literally sit back and we just assume we can't score. It's like an impossible task. It happens when we go to Villa Park. It happens when we go to St. James's Park. It happens when we go to the Etihad. It happens when we go to Anfield. There's so many times I just feel like we are only going to score from a set piece or a wonder goal. Like, think about the 2-2 last season that you had. Calafiori's amazing strike. And then you have, obviously, Gabriel's corner. St. James's Park, we haven't scored that, I think, since Odegaard's performance back in 22-23. And even then, that was a wonder goal to make it 1-0. And I think Martinelli got like an own goal. Obviously, not his own goal, but he got it off, I think, Shaw it was. All these stadiums we just go to, I just do not have the confidence we're going to score unless it is from something worldy. Even the Real Madrid games you look at, 2 world-class free kicks from Declan Rice, something that might not ever get replicated, to be honest. And I really am looking at these and I'm really analysing it, thinking, what is it? Is it a mental barrier? Is it a block? Honestly, I don't know. But
I don't think it's a mental barrier. I think it's the tactical setup. Because the reason why I think it's a tactical setup, because we've seen Arsenal go to places and score goals. We've seen Arsenal go to West Ham and put 5 past them. We've seen this before. So why is it that we can't go to Liverpool and put 2 past them when they're not at their best? There's no way on earth you're telling me that was Liverpool at their best. Because if that was Liverpool at their best, they ain't winning the league playing like that. I'll tell you that for a fact. That first half, they were not there. There was nothing to shout about. The moment of magic is what won them the game and the tweak at half time. Not because they were exceptional, but it's more that we weren't brave enough. At the end of the day, they're the home team. They're supposed to put it on us, and they didn't even do that in the first half. I just think the way how we approach these games, we really have to start trying to win and just trust the defense. We've got the best centre-back partnership in the Premier League, if not European football. Just go there and express yourself. Why can't we be like the 22-23 season? Why do we have to see this week in, week out, the sort of stale performances where we nick a goal off a set piece? Why can't we just actually enjoy the game and say, you know what? We were a constant threat for 90 minutes. When's the last time I've actually said that? When's the last time you said that?
No, that's a good point.
That's my issue.
I couldn't tell you, to be honest. But I think just to wrap this section up, what do you think that this result will have a large impact for the rest of the season ahead? Or do you think, looking back, if we really, it's just one hiccup, it wasn't necessarily bad before. It was a performance that was looking like a 0-0 and then a wonder goal won it for them. So overall, if we got a point in there, we'd have 2 decent performances. Well, the United one weren't that great either. So, but what I'm trying to say is, do you think that this result here will then, if we just turn it on now, keep on getting them wins, draws when we've got a couple of tough games ahead. We've got obviously City, we've got Newcastle away soon. Come May, will we look back on this Liverpool result and think to ourselves that this was the time if we wanted to win it?
I don't think we will. I think my message is to all the Arsenal fans is to unite. This is not the time to be losing your heads or whatever. Anyone losing their head, you need to calm down. At the end of the day, it's game week 3. How many times have we seen Man City start the season not great, first 10 games not great, but then they go on an incredible run? Even when we finished 2 points off, We weren't great the first couple of games, but then that run we put together where we only drew one game to Villa and didn't win the league. Do you understand? That's a crazy run. That's the maddest run I've ever seen in my life. So I think that this won't impact us. At the end of the day, I've seen Antonio Conte come to Arsenal, lose 3-0, change it to a 3 at the back and win the league. So I'm not worried.
That's true. That's true. That's have you pulled that out from?
Listen, I'm not worried.
Oh my day, that was a great game as well. Özil,
Sanchez,
Sanchez, I think Walcott as well. That was a great game.
On. Yeah.
But right then, well then moving on then, I think another topic we can really discuss here is transfers. Transfer deadline day as we're recording this was yesterday. So the window is officially closed for the summer of 2025. And we'll put up this graphic now. Overall, our signings, 8 total. And I think it's probably the most proactive I've seen Arsenal in a window. It's around 250 million spent, near enough. Which is a lot of money. A lot of money. And I personally think we've done the right business, but I think the main thing is it enough? Like, will that really and truly make us, win the league? Will that close the gap between us and Liverpool? And I would love to say City, but I wouldn't love to say City. But as of now, they're probably not looking like it. But as title winners, will this help us eventually get to where we want to go this window?
Yeah, definitely should do. I mean, at the end of the day, we've signed 8 players, right? Like you just said. I don't recognize my football club. Andrea Berta has changed our lives. I mean, I'm sick and tired of hearing that nonsense about Edu cooking a barbecue. The flame was never lit. There was never anything on that stove.
If he's cooking a barbecue, oh my! Remind me to go to Antarctica where the weather is always snowing. I'm not going to one of his barbecues. That guy was not cooking shit for 4 years. Oh my god! Don't even get me started already.
Listen, Edu Gaspar, you nearly ruined our lives. By the way, how many Januaries were we begging for a striker and you did niche? You didn't do anything. But anyway, let's not focus on the negatives.
No, actually, let me just add quick. Now you're seeing Forest, how they're suffering. Have you seen? They obviously got Zinchenko yesterday. Yep. Hey, I'm telling you, that's only the start. Hey, Jesus is coming next. Then you're going to get Sambi Lokonga. You're going to get Raheem Sterling on deadline day. Just get ready, Forest fans. You're next. Fucking shit.
Listen,
barbecue, man.
They're lucky they don't get the Chelsea's 3rd choice goalkeeper at this rate. Do you understand?
Oh my days. But yeah, I mean, as a whole, I think for these signings, I'm confident personally that it's definitely closed a gap. Will it be the one to make us win the league? I'm not too sure, because I've always felt the need that Arsenal. Everyone's always said that we need a striker, and more times I've agreed. As a whole, I feel that was the case after the season where we lost it by 2 points against City. So that 23-24 season, yes, we needed a striker then. But after last year, the issue was no longer a striker. It was the creativity. Yeah, Odegaard, obviously out of form. We had to rely on Valeri, who put in a shift. But I think that, has he addressed this summer? You could argue with Eze, yes. But is he going to play him in the midfield or out wide? I'm still yet to know. Zubimendi might address the issue in midfield. Like, Partey was obviously going out, and I think we did kind of lose that essence of being able to control games again. And maybe Zubimendi does that, but I find no real attacking presence. You've got Madueke, who is a good signing as a prospect, maybe, and he might go on to be a great player. I hope I eat my words, but I feel like if he was that good, would Chelsea sell him? Probably not, especially not to us. And yeah, Gyokeres. At first, I didn't want him, if I'm being totally honest. I've always wanted Isak since summer 2021 Euros. But then he obviously went to Newcastle. Still wanted him then. And then when Liverpool went for him, I just knew it wasn't going to happen. But I would have loved for us to try something maybe. It's always, the full team was free for ages. I thought it was a nice storyline. But Gyokeres, if it was Raheem, even if it was between him and Sesko, I'm going to be honest, I wanted Sesko. Only because I thought he was, as a technical player, better. But that being said, I wasn't against Gyokeres. I'm happy we got him, and he will score goals. People are saying because it's in the Portuguese league. I don't care. You don't score that many goals anywhere in any league and not replicate that somewhere else. It would be a freak otherwise. And yeah, overall, I'm happy with the signing. And whilst I thought we were done, we got our depth in Mosquera, who, well, obviously we've touched on him. What a player! Norgard, Kepa, they'll come in when needed. And as recent as yesterday, Hincapié,
Yeah.
his name, he signs yesterday, and it's another option for a stacked defense. I think we can call it that.
Yeah. The thing is, yeah, a lot of people are calling out for a striker, and I don't know. I was never truly convinced a striker was the sort of our main problem. For me, the way I looked at it, it was always the left wing for me. That was my problem, because you'd have the right wing with Saka and Odegaard, or the right hand side, should I say, and that was the bulk of our creativity. Now, those two players in combination could get double team, tripled up. Then we distribute onto the left hand side where you'd have Martinelli one on one, or Trossard in that fact, and the productivity was just not there. We couldn't sort of do anything on the left hand side, really and truly. So for me, the left wing is the main issue, and I still don't think that's been addressed. Because if you're going to put Eze as a left winger, I mean, you could play on the left, but he's not an out and out winger. I was hoping for Rodrigo, if I'm being honest, but maybe that's too much to ask. I guess he wants to stay in Madrid. I'm not sure if we've done enough, really and truly. However, I can't say the manager hasn't been backed, so there's no excuse. We've got the players in now, maybe not the left winger, fair enough, but the striker's in, and a lot of people said that's our main problem. So he's got to make it work for me.
No, I agree. I think that's the truth. He got back. Berta was a signing, probably one of the best signings of the window, for being truly honest, because he was the one who closed a lot of these. I'm pretty confident he did his job well, and we got what we wanted. And I have no doubt that maybe Gyokeres, Arteta might have preferred someone else, but out of everyone else, I think Arteta confidently wanted every single one of those players. So regardless of what I think, regardless of what you think, who he might have got, who he should have got instead, what we were missing, this is what he wanted. These are his players, so these are the issues he thinks that needed addressing. So I think at the end of the year, he needs to be held accountable for whatever we end up with. And yeah, it's finally time. We can't use excuses that he hasn't been backed, or he's needed a striker, he's needed attackers. He's got everything he has now. People will say he might need a left winger, he might need another midfielder. I don't care now. Now, this is what he's needed. This is what he's got. He's decided. It's clear that if he wanted someone else, he could have gotten, because he signed a 40 million, 50 million backup defender on the final day of the season.
Exactly.
So he 100%, well, not the season, the window. So he got what he think Arsenal Football Club needs, and now it's time for him to put his money where his mouth is. Hopefully, that will see the best of his decisions, and it will age very, very well. With time, I think that's the only way to see.
Yeah, last season was plagued by injuries, so I couldn't even get onto the manager last season. Now he's got incredible options at his disposal. Like we've already mentioned the Mosquera, so I'm not even going to go over that again. But like you said, it's time to win now. And Eze was a signing that told me, Berta said, it's time to win now. We could have got someone like Xavi Simons. He just went to Spurs. He's young, upcoming, experienced in the Champions League, played in a top 5 European division in the Bundesliga. We could have, done that easily, 100%. However, we want the Premier League proven player in Eze. And Berta said, it's time to win. There's no excuses. And the first thing I want to see is us lift that Carabao Cup. That's the first cup of the season. And I need to see trophies. We need to see armpits, because I'm sick of us coming away with oh my days, we were so close and we had a great season. I don't give a damn. I don't give 2 biscuits. Yeah, I see more trophies than Arsenal see. Yeah, so I want to see something. That's it.
I can agree, and I think you want to build momentum. If we start winning early, hopefully we'll continue that. And I agree, the Carabao Cup is something that people don't take seriously, and I really think it's a shame sometimes, because it's a trophy at the end of the day. It's one that we have only won twice. So I think when I realised that, it's quite terrible. I mean,
Mhm.
that's a trophy that's there, and yeah, I think there is no more excuses. We've got to win this year, and yeah, I mean that's the truth. I mean, that's. I mean, we'll quickly touch on this before we move on to the next section. But in terms of rival activities, do we think there's obviously an obvious candidate here, but who else has done their business? Who's won the transfer window? As people love to say.
Yeah, unfortunately, the team that won the window was a team we just recently played. I mean, their window has been nuts. I mean,
It's been
just from
crazy.
just from the opening, from the time I heard they're signing Frimpong and Kirkes, fixing their left back and right back issues after Trent's departure and Robertson's sort of shaky past few seasons, I just knew they were on smoke. And then I'm hearing about the budget, this war chest, like that's what Arsenal like to say. That's a war chest. 400 and something million they spent. Do you understand? That's the war chest, brother. I'm seeing more coins and more gold than a fortnight scar. How the hell did they sign Isaac? It's like, come on,
Look,
ban him, ban him.
it was ridiculous. Like Verts, that one shook me. I was like, oh my god, like that is a player. And to then sign Isaac on the final day, like I think we always knew it was going to happen. But as time went on, you kind of thought maybe it might not. Maybe he'll be forgiven. He'll come back to Newcastle. But oh my god, the amount of money they have spent. Frimpong, Kirkes, Verts, Ekitike, by the way, what a player. I mean, even then, the one actually thing that I'm actually quite happy about with them signing Isaac, I do confidently but quietly believe that will cause more issues than good. Yes, he's a great player, but Ekitike he scored every single game he's been in, apart from the Arsenal game, which was always going to be his toughest test. But even then, he scored an offside goal. But I know we don't count. But it's just a state of intent. But he's been insane. And what people are saying that what they should play now. People are saying 4-4-2. I don't think Slott's going to do that. I mean, you look at as a whole tactical setup, they're going to have to really change and mold around Isak if they want to incorporate the both of them. And I don't think they'll be able to do that. I might have to play Ekitike on the left, but why do that when he's been so good up top?
If they were
So
playing a 4-4-2, how would they even go about that?
I don't know because their midfield right now has been quite solid in obviously they're playing with the 10th the first time, so Verts, not Slobosar, McAllister and Gravenberch. And I think they'll probably end up benching the 10 because you can't then drop your two main holder midfielders. I mean, the midfielders that have been, key for you in the past year. The two, I think they both get PFA Player of the Year. They might have. They both got a team, not Player of the Year, but they were in the team of the season last year. So I think it'd be ridiculous to do that. And that's why I think it's going to cause issues. It's going to cause quite the headache for Slot. And it could just be good competition. It might just be Isaac and Ekitike rivaling out, but we've seen that happens with goalkeepers. Raya and Ramsdale, us personally. And while it might be a different thing because goalkeepers are more of I think they're quite similar because ultimately them two, they're very isolated. The striker and the goalkeeper, but they're, as positions, they're not really helped by anyone. Like you are kind of your own guy. You can have a terrible game, you shoot, you score, you won. You all of a sudden you're the hero, or you're a keeper. You might have really quiet game. You make a great save. You're the man. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's similar dynamics, and it might come back to bite them Liverpool in the end, where they. But I'm not disappointed. I'm not dissing them at all. I think overall on paper it's still an amazing window.
Yeah.
I'm more just I'm keeping that quiet, although I've just said it on a podcast. But regardless. Yeah, I think overall their window has been amazing, and the only downside they could say is obviously not signing Gehi in the final day of the season. But thank God for that, to be honest, because we didn't need that.
Yeah, if they signed Gahey, I think that's just greed, to be honest. Because what's
Yeah,
that? That'd be like nearly 500 million spent.
be
But going
ridiculous.
back to Ekitike, I think he shocked everyone. I even think he shocked probably the staff at Liverpool, the coaching staff. Because what I'm hearing about this guy is that he was underperforming his XG before he joined Liverpool when he was in the German league. So
Mm.
I thought Liverpool's approach was we're going to sign this guy, but deep down we know Isak's going to try and force a move, and we're going to get our man eventually. But what they didn't know is that Ekitike would be this good. Now, like you said, they've got a real benching headache, and I generally, I don't know what they're going to do because they've just signed Verts, most expensive signing, obviously, before Isak. so they're not going to drop him. The only player that's probably droppable is Gakpo. And if I was a manager, I wouldn't drop him because I think he's been really good for the past 2 seasons. So yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do, man.
Yeah, no, I'd agree, and yeah, it's a good point, and I do kind of see that vision that the staff themselves didn't realize how good Ekatike was, unless I don't think the rumors of Isak would have speculated or would have started in the first place. But yeah, on other rivals, I don't think anyone else I can really want to touch on. Like, I think Liverpool obviously are our main rivals here for the season. City, um, I think they're quite transitional at the moment. They're a bit of a mess. I don't want to say too much, but they are a bit of a mess. You know, their goalkeeper situation. They've got rid of Edison now officially and brought in Donnarumma on the final day of the season or the final day of the window. So him and Trafford, I guess, are going to battle it out. But I think that's kind of unprecedented as well. You know, Trafford, I don't think he's been terrible. Had obviously that mistake against Tottenham, but you got to have patience with these keepers. You know, why buy them otherwise? Let them stay at Burnley, and they would have a better chance of staying up. But regardless, yeah, they got that Reinders, great player. He was amazing against Wolves first day of the
Yeah,
season.
really, really good.
But other than that, I mean, Chelsea, I'm still not sold on them as title contenders. I don't know about you, but
No, Chelsea for me, not title contenders. I think I was having this conversation with my dad, and he actually made a point to me. I think it's Liverpool, Arsenal, and the rest. And, you clip this if you want, but I don't see anyone doing anything. Man City, the defensive liabilities. I mean, sorry, but I can't see them doing it. I think they can score 5 goals, 6 goals in a game. They can score against anyone, but that defense and the midfield, it's not quite right. I mean,
yeah,
ever since Gundogan left to Barcelona, he's rejoined. He ain't looked the same player. They lost De Bruyne. Do you understand that's a huge boost to fill? Diaz has not looked the same Diaz he was. Neither was a Kanji. That's not the trouble winning a Kanji. Stones is he's past it. Sorry, you can say what you want. That he's past it. So I think if they sort out the defense, then yeah, I think they're back. But
yeah,
until
and just
they do that,
yeah, just on that, I think Sky. I don't know if you saw on Sunday, but I saw the game as well between them and Brighton at work.
mm,
The build up was the fact that Rodri started again, and they had the graphic there. You know, games with and without Rodri, and I thought, oh, okay, then here we go. They're going to start winning again. Nope,
nah,
2-1 Brighton full time, and I think, yeah, that Rodri fear factor has kind of been lost now because they know that City are there to get at. Because Rodri never went that long without playing a game for City. Now people have really tried to crack the code. I think it's gonna be hard for City this season, and you know, like I say, like you say, I might have to eat my words coming into the year, but I don't know. Just what I'm seeing, I'm not really convinced, and yeah, I think Chelsea might be a nice third little, but I think, like you said, there will be a two main title strivers in Arsenal, Liverpool, and then there'll be quite a big gap between the rest. I hope so anyway, and hopefully us above Liverpool. But yeah, I think just to wrap that up, I think it's a good transition into the next section. As season expectations, what did you predict like going into the season? Did you confidently say we were going to win the league?
yeah. Funny enough, I haven't been active on my channel, so I didn't make any predictions. But my predictions going into this, I said Liverpool are going back to back. That was just the way how I saw it. When I heard about the transfer window, how they were moving, I still think they're going back to back. Unfortunately, I just think that I don't know. I just think we're missing the X factor on the left hand side. Eze might be the guy. Who knows? Hindsight is a wonderful thing, so we will see. But I just think now with Isak as well, I just can't see it. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I agree. I said the same on my channel that Liverpool were going to win it. I just think what you really want to do when you are won the title and when you're champions is defend it. It's something Liverpool have never been able to do in the Premier League era. They had a terrible title defense when they first won it in 2020, and just about making top four the next season. But this year they want to prove a point to themselves, especially Slot. What I'm actually seeing now with Slot is I underrated him massively. I mean, his mentality I think is very, very different. I even went back to the other day. I was looking at his final days, and Feyenoord winning that league in the Eredivisie. I mean, at the time, Ajax were the clear dominators in that league, and it was so unprecedented for them to actually win that. So I think Slot is there to really break them stereotypes, break those, kind of thoughts you already have going into the league that Liverpool they've never really been a dominant side in the Premier League era, and they rely a lot on their history and obviously Champions League, which is all more power to them. I'm not saying that as a diss, but what I'm saying here is that I think Slot has a better mentality than Arsenal, which is something that we have always been criticised for, and I think for good reason too. I think when push comes to shove, we can struggle under pressure, and in a time where Arsenal and Arteta mainly, the fan base are desperate to win a title or win something, which I think is why he needs to focus on everything. He can't just go double down on the Prem like he's done before. Because if he doesn't win anything, I'm telling you, there will be big conversations. And I think the expectations can backfire because it will just create more pressure on the players, on the staff, on the surrounding of the club. And eventually it might come back to bite us. But yeah, I don't know. It'll be difficult.
Listen. I've seen two of the worst managers to grace the Premier League in Ten Hag and Ange Postecoglou, and they both won silverware. And obviously Arteta's already won silverware. But what the point I'm trying to make is the team we have now, there ain't no excuse. So if you need to win the Carabao Cup and use that as a platform to go on and win the Premier League, then do it. If you need to win the Champions League, and people will laugh. You can laugh all you want. We got to the semi-finals, yeah, and Marino was up front. Defensive midfielder was playing striker, and we got to the semi-finals. So you can say what you want. At the end of the day, we've got a proven goal scorer in Europe. We've got options on the left, options everywhere now. Let's win. Let's end this Slot reign and let's win now. Come on.
I agree. Yeah, I do agree, and I think when I turn my head back to the Arteta in his first season or his first half season when he won the FA Cup against Chelsea, I was looking at that team and I thought to myself, like on the day of that final, before the game, I said it would be so good to see these players lift the trophy because they hadn't done so in the Arsenal shirt. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Pepe, Tierney, Ceballos, Xhaka, I think he won one FA Cup beforehand. Leno or Martinez, all these players, I looked around and I thought, I want you guys to lift something. The vibes would be amazing. And they were. After that, we won that. It was great. The celebrations were amazing. We got the Community Shield. We won that. Obviously, the season after that was shit, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, I look at the same now with our team now, and I look at Saliba, I look at Gabriel. None of these players deserve it. Gabriel deserves it. He was there in that horrible season. He's seen the heartbreak, he's seen the trauma, and Saka, he needs it. Although he won it, but with us, same with Martinelli. But they didn't really have much to play in it. Like they didn't even start the game. So I want to see them win big silverware. I want them to be grinning. I want them to be, lifting the trophy. I crave it. I desire it so much. And if we don't get that, man, it's just gonna be keep asking when. How long have to wait? How long until we see and we're rewarded? We got put so much in faith into Arteta. I've had a lot of patience with him, and when does the patience eventually run thin? I think is the question.
Yeah, I think the fan base are almost sort of unanimous in this decision. The things with Arsenal is, well, all the time we're a split fan base. Sorry, you can talk about the Wenger ins, the Wenger outs, and blah blah blah. You even had Emery and all that rubbish. But when the fan base unites and we have sort of one opinion that majority of people take, that's when it's time to do something. Now, majority of the fan base, you spoke about someone like Martinelli. Majority of the fan base are saying, his time is almost up. And I think majority of the fan base are going to say, if Arteta doesn't win anything this season, his time might be up. The question's going to be there, like what you're saying. I've seen quite a few Arsenal fans with big channels even question Arteta, and these are people that backs him. Do you understand? So I just really hope that he can deliver, a big trophy, a Premier League or a Champions League. I think he deserves it too. Seriously, taking us from where we were, I think he deserves it too. But prove that you deserve it. Come on, man, win it.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. I think people tend to dehumanize Arteta sometimes. Just think of him as this evil cretin, and if he doesn't win anything, he needs to go. But I mean, even looking at his interviews, looking at even like the All or Nothing documentary, I've got more of an insight to how he really thinks about the club, and you can tell he loves it. He does have a deep, deep passion for the club. The stuff he's done in the training ground. Even I've watched a lot of the signing, behind the scenes on their first day for all the new signings, and there's still that thing. There's that blacked out like thing on the wall of the Premier League trophy, waiting for to be lit when we won it. Stuff like that. They need to walk past that every day. Like I really, really do appreciate stuff like that. Really instilling a mentality between us. But it's one thing, trying to do it, and eventually you will always be judged about what you have won come your end of your career. Especially at such a big club like Arsenal, and we need to start acting like the big club we are. Like you say, Tottenham winning a trophy really, really did. Wow, talking about it just winds me up. Chelsea, I mean, they've won every European competition now. Haven't won the league in a while, and we so desperately need to keep it that way. And I just think it's our time, and we need to do something. And yeah, I mean, as a whole, I guess we'll see sometime. But I mean. Yeah, I mean, as just a little wrap up, I mean, fixtures ahead, it's going to be hard. We've got Forest, the first game back, then Atletico Bilbao away for our first Champions League game, City at home, and Newcastle away. Those are our games for September. I guess we'll go into more depth come the time, obviously, when we get to I think next week we'll talk about more about the Nottingham Forest game as a little preview, same with Atletico. But as a whole, are you confident that we can bounce back from this result against Liverpool and make a mark and start playing like how we can? Because if we're being honest with ourselves, we haven't played well so far this season as a whole, especially attacking wise. And can we start gaining some momentum? That's the main thing here.
Yeah, 100% we can gain momentum. We saw it, the season where we missed out on the league 2 points. We went to Dubai, we came back, and we went on a crazy run. So nothing's impossible. It's just about the mentality. No doubt that the talent is there, but the mentality's got to match that. And I want to see ambition. I want to see determination. I want to see everyone really, really up for this next few games. Do you understand? So yeah.
Yes, sir. I got to agree with you. Got anything to add? Got any other things you want to address? Or
I think that's it. Really and truly, that's everything we have to say.
yeah, I'm checking through my notes. I don't think I've got anything else. But yeah, well, Mr. Aaron, thank you very much for joining on the first episode of the Is Yours Gold podcast. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I appreciate. Remember, as of now, we're only on YouTube. Hopefully, this will expand and we can get to other streaming platforms. And oh my god, that'll be something. I'll be on my way to uni with headphones in, listen to Spotify. But that's the vision. We seriously want to build some momentum with the AFC Elite brand as a whole, and make it as a real statement figure in the whole Arsenal fan base. And I think as a whole we want to be positive, realistic, and consistent. That's the main idea here. But,
that's the plan. I'm happy to be on this podcast. So thank you for having me. I'm glad this is the first episode. So there's so many more episodes to come out. We have a long way to go, but listen, I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, likewise. And obviously, it's our first time doing any of this kind of format of videos, so it might take us a while to figure out the format, figure out some of the editing behind it, the visuals. So we'll start from somewhere. It's just about starting sometimes, and hopefully that will be only way is up. But there's one thing just want to touch on personal channels as well. So if you want to check out any of us individually, I've got channels. 2 of them, it's a bit confusing, but I'll put it in the description below. There's Harry2, and then there is Rome HL, 2 things I go by. If you want to go find Aaron, where can they find you?
They can find me on ABZYT. That's my personal channel. Hasn't been any recent uploads there, but listen, there's definitely something going to be coming out soon. So stay tuned, people, and check out our channels.
That's gotta love it. It's that, support us as much as you can. And yeah, man. So thank you all very much for watching the first episode of the Is Yours Gold podcast. And like I said, we will hopefully back. Well, we will be back next week to discuss. I think next week will be more of a not really, because obviously it's an international break now. It'll be more of just to getting to know us more podcast and talking more about Arsenal as a whole. And yeah, so we hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Check out all of the socials. We are everywhere. We are on TikTok, Instagram, I think on Facebook as well. We're on X, and obviously here on YouTube. So always got content. Always trying to provide the best for Arsenal. It's the best. It was a reason we're called AFC Elite. It's because it is the most elitist brand of Arsenal content out there. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and we'll hopefully see you on the next episode very, very soon.
Peace.